Okay, so now that I've got my roof in there, I can start looking at the rest of the facade, and we've got the upper level now, which has these solid walls, but then also these glazed sections, which we can make using curtain walls. So I'll begin with the solids and the solid walls, and so I might just measure off the plan there. They're timber framed walls. I just want to get an idea of the thickness. I'm going to say they're a bit thicker than what's shown there. They're probably 120. So I'm just going to go to the wall tool in my level 1 drawing and change the wall type to, well, actually, just to save time for now, I'll just use generic 100mm. We'll fix them up later and make them 120. So I'm just going to make sure the location line there is on finish face exterior, and then snap to the corner of my existing exterior wall that is below that, and then bring it up, and it's going to have to come past that reference plane that is on the edge of the balcony and project out a little bit. So this is going to be an instance where it'll help me a lot if I draw in now a reference plane from the top of that wall all the way across to the other side. So when I draw the next wall, I can line it up. Yeah, that's right. So now when I go to draw my next wall, I'll snap to the corner of the wall below in the same way. Yeah. And you should see something interesting there. So I'll give you some time to do this, because that wall you can see now is going to the right, and you need to flip it using the space bar so it goes the other way. So finish face exterior. Okay, so don't be tempted to bring the floor out, because remember these walls do stick out beyond the floor line. Another typical side load trademark. Okay, so now I'm going to edit the floor still. I'm just not going to bring that edge out. I'm going to select that floor, go to edit boundary, and then add in the extra lines I need to follow that bit of wall there. Thanks a lot, Steve. Okay, so just an L-shaped pair of lines, and then with trim to corner, you can join those together. If you want to use pick wall there, you can, but it's probably just as easy to draw line segments in here. Okay, so by doing that, what I've done, you'll see in 3D, is given a base for the next set of walls that are going to continue now from the inside of these walls here. Alright, so again, looking back at our photo, we've got actually a fairly thick floor there, but it's a bit of a misleading image, I suppose. Well, not misleading, it's just that the floor structure there has been framed out and it's thicker there than it would be on the interior. So for now, just leave it at 150, and so we'll just bring the walls down that far, and then later on we can bring it down further if we're going to add. We will add more, but we'll do that later. So you can just select the two walls, and then to bring them down so that they are flush with the floor, you can put in a bottom offset or base offset of -150. Okay, so notice how now they just extend down that little bit and just makes it look much nicer. Yeah, in the base offset, yeah. And then just like the other walls, you can go to attach top base and choose the roof. Now, if it does what mine's done, which is not extend the entire wall, that's just because the roof isn't big enough. Because remember, we did the roof to the line of the floor. So the roof actually needs to come out, and that shows you, again, it's just like the way it's been built in real life. The roof does come out further than the floor, so we're just going to fix that. So select the roof, easy to fix, edit footprint, back into your floor plan, and we've got the reference plane there to show us where the roof should be. So you can see the purpose again of the reference planes. I'm just going to drag that line onto the reference plane, tick to finish, and now it's right. So I'll just do the next part very quickly. We'll don't have to go much further with curtain walls next week, but just to get you started, again in my plan with image, back to wireframe, so I can see the image to trace it, and make sure you have this photograph here to refer to. So I've got the solid wall there, and we'll get the detail where it extends below the floor later. So for now I'm just going to draw a wall in with the basic wall, tracing over the reference plane I've got there. And try and get that as accurate as you can, because that'll determine the placement of the next wall, which again I'll just start very briefly with curtain wall 6mm thick glazing. Going to go from the centre line of the wall I've just drawn across to the right. And so now in 3D you can see those walls are low height because they're just going to the roof level, but I can easily select them, attach and choose the roof.
So is that the end of the line? So like with the floor plan where the wall thing is?
Yep.
So
yeah, all the way to there. Yep. Okay, so now I'll just get you started with the grids, and that'll be plenty for today. It's good we've got a lot done today. So so I'm going to use curtain grids just to do a rough setup similar to what's here. We can always fine tune the spacing later. Okay, so I'll start again with curtain grid, putting that vertical dividing line in, and then we've got two horizontal ones, 1, 2, not being too precious about the spacing there, and then on the right we've got one that doesn't extend up all the way, so it's over here but it doesn't have the top segment, so I'm going to press escape twice now, then select that grid line, add remove segments, and remove that segment. And then now we have another grid here, so again back to curtain grid, and this time, so I don't have to come back and delete the segments, I'm going to instead change the option up the top to one segment. So it's been on all segments, I'm going to go to one segment and then choose in between those two grid lines, which is another way of making it. So there we go. I can still adjust the grids after I've put the mullions in, so I'll put some mullions on just to make it look a bit more complete. Just picking each grid line manually. Put those ugly thick mullions in, and I'll show you how you can make them into thinner mullions next week as well. But there we are, so you can see it's really starting to look like the building once you get those curtain walls in there, and that's going to be the main finishing element to get that exterior done, and then we can focus totally on the interiors. And we should get well into that next week, so then should be good, but done really well today, so I'll finish there.